What was the red flag that made you stop talking to a person immediately? Had a date with a girl who told me a couple of stories about her life. And ended them saying, "Nah, I'm just kidding." At the end of the date, I felt like I knew less about her than I did going in. Made me feel really uncomfortable. At Comic-Con someone got a huge crush on my sister and he followed us around trying to make conversation. He casually deemed an anime that was full of rape, sex, violence and incest between prepubescent child murders. We're talking just hit double digits. Hilarious. That was the word he used to describe it. When we got a minute I tried to warn her to steer clear of the pedo freak please. Found out about the content from reading TV tropes. I told him he was my best friend since childhood and he responded by saying, "Yeah, but we're no longer kids." When they don't care about you. When they casually made a horribly racist comment. When I found out they were sexually harassing my best friend. MAGA hat. Wearing a mask, but intentionally wrong. Like, do it or don't. Don't be a passive-aggressive dick. Went on a Minecraft date with someone at the height of the pandemic. He kept making suggestive comments and joking about humping in Minecraft. It was harmless at first and when I said okay that's enough he didn't stop. Needless to say I blocked him and decided to never meet him in person. Started talking about past relationships like I was a therapist. At first it was a way to express they were trying to change and take things slow. They often jumped in too fast. I stated I understood and instead of moving on with our date they described who, how many, how long, where they lived etc. It felt more like a venting session and by the end I was emotionally drained and never spoke to them again. The best friend, telling me to be careful. Yeah, he ended up traumatizing me. She was driving us to a restaurant. On the way there she cracked open a Red Stripe. Drank most of it during the trip while offering me a sip occasionally. I Ubered home that day. Not a date. But was just outside of Pittsburgh. My company sent me there to work on some computer networking. Actually ATM man. I'll talk to anyone friendly at a bar. Was having drink and an older guy sits next to me. We start chatting. He is a consultant at a coal plant. I am super renewable guy. But hey, I can get into the engineering of it. All is well for about 20 minutes. Then he casually, as if it is nothing, drops the N-word while referring to some of the staff. I blankly stare at him for 5 seconds. And then just stand up and walk out. Bill was paid. Just know. They were rude to the bartender. Huge red flag if they're rude to service workers. Treats dogs bad. Was talking to a guy about a sexual assault scandal around here. Where a girl took a shower at a party. A bit weird but sure. And a guy came in and assaulted her. This was a musician and her mentor. Who also invited her to the party and refused to take her home. This guy said it was the girl's fault because she could have known something like this could happen and she should stay home at night. And that poor guy. Because he said it was consensual. Who knows if it was true. And now his reputation was smeared. And he could totally imagine being in that situation himself and someone accusing him of sexual assault. He's a musician and mentors kids as well. I just told him that he should just stay at home at night and not put himself in a situation where he could be accused and there'd be no problem. But apparently that wasn't what he meant. I left the conversation then. I was talking to a guy the first met on Tinder and he told me he had raped a girl in her sleep. He then tried to excuse and explain his action. trying so hard to make it seem less vicious. Bitch. Bye. Bright colored dyed hair. Like purple or something. Bright colors like that are nature's way of letting you know they're poison and to stay away. I always remember this guy the first went to a bar with years ago, and I opened up about a previous experience saying it was the hardest I've been through, and he laughed at that. When she said something negative about a family member to me. Like, nah, I don't need that in my life. I didn't walk away right on the spot, but I didn't talk to her much after that, and we were really close. I told him I'm mentally ill and that I'm schizophrenic. And he told me, no. You aren't mentally ill. You're just socially awkward like me. I was furious. Like, are you kidding me? I've literally been diagnosed with schizophrenia. And have been to a psychiatric ward. And he has the audacity to tell me about myself and that I'm not mentally ill. That was about half an hour ago. Eye-shifting head movements. Kept doing dumb stuff and would stop, got better, but now it came back. She casually stated to the entire floor of the battered women's shelter that men who work here only do it for access to women. I quit that volunteer job after no one said anything back. I had been volunteering for almost a decade at that point, and everyone knew me except her new ass. Toxic behavior. Arrogant, entitled, superficial, acting superior, not empathic to others.